What is up, everybody? Verse TV here today, and a lot of people seem to not like the new Mortal Kombat 2021 movie. I gave my review of it. I actually really enjoyed the movie. A lot of people didn't enjoy it. This stuff has a lot of mixed reviews on this. Some people are saying it's absolutely trash. Some people are saying it's okay. Some people are saying they love the movie. I'm in the camp that loves the movie. I thought it was a fantastic film. I wish they have a sequel. So we're gonna go over like a lot of the negative comments, and this will be a spoiler-filled video. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, you might want to click off this video and then come back to it later. But I got four different posts on Twitter. These are like the most traction that I can find on Twitter where people were talking about this movie. Because this was actually trending on Twitter like all day yesterday and some of today as well too. Like different Mortal Kombat characters was trending. People were just talking about the movie. And you kept seeing like a lot of people saying they hate the movie. The movie was just awful. I'm looking like, really? So we're gonna talk about the major stuff people were talking about. So this is David Jaffe's tweet. This is the first one I have pulled up. I think he's in the camp that likes the movie too. So he says, "I'm sorry, but what in the f are these Moors on about? Saying the MK movie was trash. The f? It was so much effing fun." And I think that's the thing too. The movie was just fun to watch. Like I don't understand how people think like every movie just needs to be like some mind altering, mind changing experience. Like you need to, like your plane of existence just needs to be changed. Like you just found some enlightenment from a movie. It's like no, if you're a fan of the Mortal Kombat series and you want to see that in a live action movie, then this is the movie for you. Like I just don't get it. Like people love that first Mortal Kombat movie, the first one we had, the first live action one, but that movie wasn't Mortal Kombat. Like it was just like it was PG combat, PG-13 combat. Like we're being honest. I think we just suffering from a lot of nostalgia because even some like I gotta watch the movie again recently, but I just looked at one scene of it on YouTube, the Goro versus Johnny Cage fight. People don't a lot of people seem to forget how Goro looked in that original movie. Goro looks really creepy in that original movie. It looks like just a big plastic, like a rubber doll. It looks weird. It's like it's so cartoony. But these are some other comments. These are some other posts. This guy didn't like the movie. He said no Johnny Cage, no Katana, Kano with the full face, no tournament, all for Raiden, Cabal being a villain, Liu Kang as a minor character, no arc for Melina. Shall I go on? Gave Jax the baby arm, shaking my head. The last part is pretty funny, but let's address each one of these points. No Johnny Cage. If you watch the movie, like then the movie, they set up Johnny Cage for being in the sequel. Like it specifically said at the end of the movie, we got the main character is going to Hollywood to recruit somebody in Hollywood. Then they show the Johnny Cage poster, so he's recruiting Johnny Cage. So Johnny Cage is going to be in the sequel. If people support the movie, if you actually support the movie, we're gonna get Johnny Cage in the sequel. No Katana might be in the sequel. They're trying to set up a universe with this whole Mortal Kombat thing. Kano with the full face. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, I guess they could have did that, but I don't really care. I actually like Kano in this film. Kano was pretty likable in this film compared to the other ones. No tournament. I think they were setting up the whole tournament thing because it was kind of like the whole Shang Tsung trying to cheat to avoid a tournament, then to avoid an official tournament. He was trying to cheat by sending people to eliminate the Earth fighters. I think they was just trying to focus on that aspect, but I think they set up the tournament for like the next movie. All for Raiden. I'm being different about the Raiden that was in this film. Cabal being a villain. I did kind of have a problem with that because I thought Cabal was a hero. I thought he was a hero. He just went in a tragic accident, which made him deform like that. But him being a villain was kind of shocking to me too. Liu Kang as a minor character. Eh, I like that they went with a new thing and they had a new character as Cole being the main character. I didn't have a problem with Cole. A lot of people hate Cole as the main character, but I didn't have a problem with that. I liked his motivation, him protecting his family. But I did think his power is kind of a cheap. His power is so cheap. Like he can absorb damage and then just he absorbs damage with that huge armor he has on. Then he like that damage like makes him grows like different attachments. Like he had the blaze within his arm. He's like a real cheap power up character. Like he's like really OP for no reason. Um, what was I say? Oh yeah. No arc for Melina. I wish they gave Melina more of a backstory. They didn't give any of the villains that much of a backstory besides like Sub-Zero. None of the villains like really know anything about the villains that they had besides like Shang Tsung. Like they didn't give one back. They didn't give a backstory for Melina, Goro. What was the other the big buff guy with the hammer? I forgot what his name was. General Raiko. I think that's what his name was. I had no idea who that guy was. That name sounds familiar, but I have no idea what that character is. The vampire chick, like they had no backstory whatsoever. So they should have gave them more like the just to know why they're with him. Like why are they following him besides just getting money or getting fame? I guess I don't know. But I guess because it's too many characters, they gotta try to introduce all these characters at once. It's like I would kind of like to know their motivation for why they are joining Shang Tsung to claim the Earth realm. So, shall I go on? Gave Jack's baby arms. The Jack's baby arm things, it made sense. Like it did make sense because in this universe, once they unlock their Arcana, they get like certain power ups unique to them. Like how Liu Kang got the fire Arcana, he shoots fire. Kano got the laser eyes. Jax was like super strength or like machine. I don't know, something machine enhancements. I'm not sure what his Arcana was, but it gave him, it made him look like the Jax that we know of with the robot arm. So let's see. Let's read the other ones too before I get to the comments. Mortal Kombat is 6 out of 10. A good movie, but a mid-tier Mortal Kombat story in my opinion. Pros: the CGI effect, the gore, the final fight, Sub-Zero. Let's talk about Sub-Zero too. Sub-Zero, they made Sub-Zero like such a like. I think this is the strongest we have ever seen Sub-Zero in anything, whether it be video game, a movie, or TV show. This is the strongest Sub-Zero has ever been in this film. He's like pretty much like a boss character in this film. I was like, I don't know what Jackson was thinking. We thought he could take on Sub-Zero hand to hand, especially with like no enhancements. That was a dumb move. So he says the cons. Some of the characters could be developed more, and a lot of the villains could have been developed more. But it's too many characters to just bring out at once. So I understand why. Unless you like a Snyder cut version of the Mortal Kombat, where they give like the backstory of all these different villains. It's too much. It's too much stuff popping on the screen. Like, so I agree. The characters could be developed more. And with the tournament, sure, they kind of like a mini tournament. If you kind of being honest, they have kind of like a mini tournament. Like once they got the Arcanas, the people were like fighting against the different villains, one-on-one fights. So we kind of got the tournament, but not really. Scorpion is used so little. Um, I guess he has a point with that because Scorpion isn't like the main character. Cole is the main character. Cole is somewhat underwhelming. Yeah, a lot of people don't like Cole in this newest one. But I bet if you get added to Mortal Kombat 11 or Mortal Kombat 12, people are going to be fanboying all over this character. People are going to be flip-flopping. And this was the last post I found that was so shocking. So he says, I saw the new Mortal Kombat, hated it, and immediately decided to watch the far superior Annihilation instead. Now, I don't know if this guy is trolling, but this is like a troll comment. But really, this like, what is this guy right here? Look at this guy. What is this right here? This looks so ridiculous. And you got Sindel. At least she was kind of cute, but that Annihilation move was terrible. I think it's universal. Universally, everybody hates this Annihilation film. People only watch this when we see like a cheesy Mortal Kombat movie, but this was not great whatsoever. Like I'm gonna go through a marathon of all the Mortal Kombat movies. The first live action one, Annihilation, the animated one. I'm gonna go to the new one again, just a marathon to see where I rank the new one at, but. I think people are suffering from serious nostalgia when they say that the new one is trash. I was like, I'm not trying to crap on the older ones, but I think y'all suffer from serious nostalgia when y'all say y'all love the older ones better. Because at least the new one actually shows like fatalities is actually Mortal Kombat. You see like people dying and actual blood and stuff like that, gore. The older ones didn't have that. It's like how the Mortal Kombat. It's like there's nothing like the original games. So let's read some of these comments actually. So this is from David Jaffe's post. So he says, people just love to S on things because they don't have enough joy in their own miserable lives, and unfortunately feel the need to try and make others feel that way. Maybe they just have a different taste and opinions. Ever thought about it? Yeah, it's cool if you got a different opinion, but all I've been seeing people say the movie's just trash. They just say, hey, the movie's trash. That's not really like a thought out opinion. Like, really? I was like, why are you trashing on movies, on like these movies getting live action live action movies? Like, we should be grateful to be honest, because a lot of fan bases don't get live action stuff. They just get the cartoon animated ones, especially like Dragon Ball Z. People who are fans of Dragon Ball Z wanted a live action Dragon Ball Z movie, and the one we got was just a cheap cash grab because of the license. The people who made the movie didn't care about the license of Dragon Ball Z. They just say, hey, We want to make this money, and they gave us that trash Dragon Ball Evolution. So I am grateful that we got these Mortal Kombat movies. People are taking the time to make these movies, and I hope this gets like a universe as big as the MCU or the DCEU. Um, yeah, I think the Mortal Kombat deserves to have that type of universe that they got like multiple films around it. So I definitely would love to. I want to support this movie as much as possible so we get a sequel. So let's read some of these other comments. Feels like they're trying to build a franchise here. Obviously, my opinion. Yeah, it's pretty obvious because especially if you watch the end of the movie, it's like, hey, they're trying to make a sequel with this. Obviously, my opinion doesn't matter, but this story felt like it was trying to set up a grand tournament. I kind of got that feeling too. So that in the sequel, they wouldn't have to do as much world building and can focus on fights. No hate on you though. People have different opinions. If you like the movie, great. If you did not, okay. You should respect everyone's opinion. That is true, but there's a lot of people who want to see a sequel for this movie, and you get people just trashing the movie. That's very disheartening to see. Um, Maybe because we have different tastes in films, that one wasn't fun to me. To me, it seemed extremely corny, over the top with a bunch of poor CGI. Not very interested. Okay. It's really corny at all, to its detriment. I have fun with it, no effing clue what haters expected. That's the thing too. Like, what were people expecting with this movie? What would have made the movie better in their opinion? I would honestly want to know, like, what made the movie better in their opinion? Like, why did they hate the movie so much? Because I just see like the generic, the movie is just garbage, it's trash, but no explanation why. Or they just said they hate the main character Cole. When it's like, I don't just want a carbon copy of what we had before. It just made it with newer technology, newer graphics. I hate when they do that. When you put like a comic book and they just put it right to the a cartoon movie or animated movie, and there's literally just a copy and paste of what happened in a comic book in a movie. I don't want to see that. I want to see some type of some type of difference in it. I don't want to see the same thing just in a movie form. I expected to see the tournament in a movie called Mortal Kombat and for Liu Kang to be the main character, which I feel are very low expectations. It's like, why does Liu Kang need to be the main character in everything, man? It's like, I guess that's a valid complaint, but I was okay with their direction of making Cole the main character. I was okay with that. But I can understand if you really were so diehard about Liu Kang being the main character, then okay. Um, I did hate how they killed since I mentioned Liu Kang, I did hate how they killed what is Kung Lao? Kung Lao. I actually really like Kung Lao in this film. I had he killed him. It's kind of like the whole like they had to kill one of the main characters off, one of the good guys off. I hated that had to be Kung Lao though. Like really, they really had to kill Kung Lao. He's probably one of the coolest characters we've seen in that movie. Um, let's see, but they pretty much had to show how fierce Shang Tsung is because you can't believe how fierce Shang Tsung is if he doesn't take like anybody, he doesn't kill anybody. So it's kind of just to prove the point that hey, he's a fierce. You should be terrified of this guy because he's actually powerful. So they had to kill off Kung Lao for that reason. Let's see some of these other comments. Jack's arms in Mortal Kombat. Goro literally went 0-1 in this film. That is kind of true. Goro got beat effortlessly. Well, he got beat to a pulp by the main character. People don't like that, but we watched the older film. Like I said, I was watching a clip on YouTube of the older film. Johnny Cage gets a flawless victory on Goro. Like he punches him in the nuts, then it kicks him off of a mountain. He gets a flawless victory over Goro with ease, and people aren't complaining about that. Like people didn't complain about that how easily he beat Goro, and Goro was supposed to be like this superior, this supreme fighter of his race. It was like Johnny Cage beat him with ease. People don't complain about that though. So it's a lot of nostalgia people are suffering. People haven't watched the older film in a while. Like I haven't watched it in a while either, but I did see that clip, and it's like people didn't complain about this either. Like we're just being, if we want to be technical about it, like Johnny Cage shouldn't have beat Goro that easily. If we're just being honest. So a regular guy wearing a bulletproof vest that can use billy clubs and a knife could take out Goro. Okay, okay. So he's talking about Cole, but those are like enhanced like armor. He's just simplifying it, but he had like Cole has some OP stuff. To be honest, his power is pretty OP to be honest. He took out Sub-Zero with just fire. They took out. I don't think he watched the movie. Like they had the joint forces to take out Sub-Zero. I was like, I think it was justified the last part. Let's see. Honestly, any rating is upgrade from Lambert. He was awful in the 1995 film. I don't remember that film that much. That's also I gotta watch it again. But I think a lot of people have just nostalgia goggles with the original Mortal Kombat film because we didn't have anything else, so people just gravitated to that one because I'm pretty sure that one, if I watch it again, is gonna be probably pretty cringy if I watch that old one again. So I am gonna watch that one again though, just so I can see the reference compared to this newer one. Let's see. 99% sure the deaths and the ending that happened was a setup for them to return as revenants. That is possible. I had that expectation too. Like a lot of these people were killed off. They probably gonna come back because Mortal Kombat definitely brings back a lot of these characters back in their video games. So Canada just got a gnome to the eye. You think and they're gonna get his robot eye next time? Yeah, they could bring him back with the robot eye. Like he could be back as a revenant. And he has a robot eye. Yeah, I don't see how people think that can't happen. Like the second movie will have the tournament possibly. People are looking at this as a one and done, I guess. I am annoyed at some devs in Mortal Kombat is known for reviving characters all the time. Um, I just call this Mortal Kombat point 5, so it's not time for Mortal Kombat yet. Let's see some other comments. I agree, Sub-Zero was so badass in that movie, from the shots to the action, it's all amazing. I feel like they're going to pick up with the tournament and the sequel. Yeah, Sub Zero has some cool fight scenes. He was a beast in this film, especially when he shows up when Cole and his family's at the bar with their diner, and then the girls outside, and then he just starts making snow appear. It just starts seeing snowflakes just appearing on the windows, snowflakes appearing on the ground. Then he just starts creating a hailstorm. Then we took out one random guy. Like one guy was just a casualty. Like I don't know how Jax is supposed to like they just set Jax up for failure. Like how are you supposed to stop this Sub Zero? Like this is like the strongest Sub Zero we have ever met, and this dude is just OP. Like there's no way Jax is gonna win that fight. Like that was a dumb setup. Like I didn't like that part. Like there was no way Jax is gonna win that fight regardless. It was like that was just stupid. But I guess it was a setup for him to get the metal arm as well as arms was taken out. So let's see. Cons, there was no explanation on how Sub Zero became immortal. Facts, like I didn't. Yeah, I was wondering that too. Like Sub Zero isn't Sub Zero is human. Why is he immortal? Why did he survive that many centuries? They didn't give no reason why he survived that long. Even if the immortal Scorpion was too weak to defeat Sub Zero on his own, how did Hanzo Hisashi daughters continue the bloodline when it was implied she was raiding the entire time? Yeah, it's a lot that they didn't explain either. Like because Hanzo was a famous warrior, his bloodline just. But yeah, I wish I explained more about that too. Uh, yeah, I was really underwhelmed by the Shang Tsung portrayal so much of the MK as the villains. Yeah. Yeah, we can have these future villains, man. It's like they clapped on this movie already, but we haven't got Shao Kahn, we haven't got Quan Chi, we haven't got Shinnok. That's not like people just trash the movie, man. Or at least if you want to trash it, at least support it, at least pay your money and trash it so we can get some sequels. Because I want this to be as big as the MCU. It's like I think Mortal Kombat has that. They have that lore. They could be as big as the MCU is. So let's see. Cons did not go in depth with the backstory about the feud between Scorpion and Sub-Zero clans. They kind of, yeah, I guess they really didn't. But how much could they really touch in one movie though? It's like they can't really touch on all that in one movie. Like, why are they going back and forth to begin with? But that's kind of what the animated film did. An animated film kind of went into the backstory. They didn't show Scorpion's bargain with Quan Chi. Yeah, so these people do have some gripes, but this is an hour and a half movie, so how much can you put in one movie? And then this last one right here, Annihilation is superior. Like this, I don't know, this dude is trolling. People that think the 1995 Mortal Kombat is better than the new ones are smoking crack. Are you serious, man? The new one was all over the place. Cole was awful. How people get their powers and markings was bad. Really? I didn't think it was that bad. Other than Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Kano, the characters were pants. The more I think about it, the more I'm getting disappointed with this movie. One of the most iconic scripts in Hollywood history. Let's see. Mother, you're alive. Too bad you will die. What? This is some awful dialogue. This guy says superior. Wow. Better than this? What is this? But what is grief if not love persevering? Okay. It was at this moment we knew Europeans are trash. It's all good, honestly. I like the TV series Conquest. I forgot about the TV show Conquest. I barely remember that show, but I think I watched that show on YouTube. That was a pretty cool show. I think it focused on Kung Lao. I think that's what the focus was on that show. I don't remember that. That was such a long time ago. Mortal Kombat Annihilation gets way more hate than it deserves. Honestly, I love that movie more than Part One. Well, this dude is tripping. Really, like I said, I gotta go through those old movies again. But I think people are really suffering just from nostalgia. Annihilation is hands down one of the worst video game adaptation movies. Super Mario Bros. Is brother than that steaming pile. I heard the Super Mario Bros. Movie is awful. I never watched it, but I've seen clips of that movie and it looks awful. You clearly haven't seen Street Fighter the movie or Tekken. Are you talking about the live action Tekken movie? I didn't know. I haven't watched that movie in a while, but I didn't think it was that bad. Um, Y'all are just obsessed with hate anything that's considered new and improved at this point. I do legit think people are just hate. People do legit just hate stuff that's new, which is like a remake of the older stuff. I think people legit have that issue where they just hate anything that's new. Because even with that new Child's Play movie, that new Chucky movie that came out a year or two ago, or maybe it was 3 years ago, I'm not sure. It's like people were just hating on that movie. I didn't think it was that bad. It's like I didn't think it was that terrible. People were just like, "This is the most awful movie ever made." Don't remake Chucky. And I was like, I didn't think that movie was that awful. Same with this one. I think people were just hating because it's new. Annihilation screenshots always look like a bad porno. It's pretty funny. That movie was effing awful, and I'm talking about Annihilation. Some of the worst acting I've ever seen in a movie I've ever watched. This Doom movie was great. If only there was more Scorpion. I've never heard a superior use to describe Annihilation before. I watched Annihilation, but it's pretty bad. Now the new MK was great. Great job on all point for a reboot. Yeah. Yeah, so I know this dude was just trolling, but pretty much I like the new movie. I like that they actually showed fatalities in this one. I like the Kano one when you said when he fought against like the reptile villain, he ripped his heart out and it says Kano wins. It was a classic. That was a classic Mortal Kombat line. Like when you beat somebody in Mortal Kombat, they say the person's name and they say they win. That was totally from Mortal Kombat. That was like some fan service right there. Or when Kung Lao he took the Tara and he did the fatality with the spinning hat, the razor blade hat. That he said flawless victory. It's like that was cool. I'm like that was some cool stuff right there. That was from the video games. That was pretty cool. So they definitely had a fan service. And I even seen like one post, somebody posted like he posted like a screenshot of, like in the movie how they had like the Sub Zero finishing move for like when Jackson Sub Zero is about to fight. There's like a it's like the arrow directions of Sub Zero's fatality move. So they got little Easter eggs up in there too, but you probably wouldn't catch it in the first viewing. You probably have to watch it a few more times to catch it. But yeah, I like the movie though, man. I liked it. I wish I could support it more. Like I don't know how more I can support it, but I want this to get a sequel so badly. I want to see a part two of this. I want this to be as big as the MCU and DC universe. I hope they do a Street Fighter equivalent to make it as big as the MCU as well. Like both those franchises need to be, they need to have some, they need to be showing some love as much as the Marvel Cinematic Universe is though. But yeah, how long is this video? This is pretty long. Wow, it's over 20 minutes long. So I'm gonna conclude it right there. I definitely want to see your thoughts about this down below. Leave a like if you like this video. As always, thanks for watching and peace.